Hey everyone, so it's been about 5 years since my last video going over this topic, and I've been getting a lot of questions lately asking if anything has changed, and also requests to put together another video going over the same topic. So in this video, I'm going to share with all of you how I like to pack my frameless roll top traditional backpack, and also my running vest style pack for backpacking trips and long distance hiking. All right, Knowledge here with Reach Your Summit. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a while since I put together a video going over packing my frameless roll top backpacks. And I believe in that last video I have on this channel was using a hammock system at the time. So this video is going to be a little bit different. I'll be sharing how I pack my packs with a tent, but the same would apply if I was using a tarp and bivvy system. A lot of the requests I've been getting was asking how I would pack everything with using a tent, and I felt this was the perfect time. I'm about to head out on the AT in Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire. So I'll kick things off with my frameless roll top Palante V2. This is a 37 liter internal capacity pack, and then all the additional pockets make it more around like 42 or 43 liter. And then in the second half of the video, I've been getting a lot of requests asking how I like to pack my Nashville Pack Cutaway. So I'm going to share with all of you how I pack this pack. This is around a 30 to 35 liter internal capacity, and with the additional outer pockets brings it more to around like a 43, 44 liter, and not as traditional. This has the running vest style straps. So packing this is going to be a little bit different from my V2 pack. So let's kick things off with the Palante V2. Right, before I get into packing each of these packs, one quick side note. This is gear that I'll use about 95% of the time during the spring through fall, and I might try pushing it into the shoulder season depending on what the conditions are like, the trail that I'm on, and what my goals and objectives are. Trips like when I'm out with groups, or if I'm out with friends, or if I'm out on a solo pursuit. For that other 5%, I might end up needing to use something like a bear canister if it's required for the area that I'm hiking in. But regardless of what type of trip I'm on, I still will always focus on simplicity and balance, how I can remain efficient when I'm out on the trail, trying to avoid redundancies as much as possible. I might have one here in this gear video, but overall, just carrying only what I need to remain safe and enjoy my experiences to the utmost potential. So here I have the Palante V2. This is a frameless roll top backpack. It does have a hip belt that's sewn in at the bottom, but 95% of the time I will not use this. I'll only use this in certain situations when I might have a longer water carry, or I have a lot more food in my pack. That food weight will add up very quickly. And I have a video on the channel going over all of the specifics of this pack, so you can check out that video going over this pack and all of my other Palante packs by using the link in the video description below. You can check all of those out whenever you'd like. This material is very water resistant, but no matter how water resistant it is, and no matter what pack I'm using, the very first thing that I will put inside of my pack is a pack liner. So this is a Nylafume pack liner. Very low cost, very effective, and nice and lightweight. And I'm just going to line my pack with it just to give it a little bit of additional water resistance. No matter how water resistant something is water, and water will eventually find its way in somehow, no matter how hard you try to prevent it. But I can still take preventative measures to keep it from happening as long as possible. Now that I have my pack liner inside of the pack, I like to take either my inflatable sleeping pad. So here I have the Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite and the Thermarest NeoAir Uberlite. Depending on the trip will determine which one of these I go with. I might end up just using my Gossamer Gear Thin Light foam pad. And on some trips, I might use both of these. So if I'm using both, I'll take this closed cell foam pad and I'll put it right in along the back panel of the pack, and that's going to give my pack a little bit of rigidity. It's going to give it some structure. The padding is also going to prevent anything from digging into my back while I'm hiking throughout the day. And then because it's outside of the pack liner in the pack, I have it quick and easy to get to for times when I'm stopping for a snack break, if I want a clean surface to sit down on, if I want to stop and take a quick nap. I have that quick and easy to get to inside of my pack. For those other trips or long hikes where I'm not carrying a foam pad, I'll just take my inflatable pad and I'll slide that in the back in the same spot where the Thin Light pad is. This is still going to give me a little bit of cushioning from anything poking into my back, and it's also going to give my pack a little bit of structure. Then the first thing to go inside of my pack liner is the last thing that I need when I get to camp each day, and that is my quilt. So for many years on very, very wet trails, very wet trips, I will put my down quilt inside of a roll top Dyneema dry bag. And for years, I've always been putting my pillow and my extra clothes inside of the foot box of my quilt before I stuff that inside of the dry bag. So this is kind of a last ditch effort to keep any water from getting at the things that I want to keep dry. And then I'll place that horizontally inside of the pack, and it's going to give my pack a little bit of base or foundation so it can easily stand up on its own. And then for organization, after I put my dry bag with my quilt and everything in there, I want the rest of my sleep system to go in there, and that's going to be my inflatable sleeping pad. And I'll place that on top of my quilt and everything else. And if you hear a little bit of humming through the rest of this video, I apologize. That is my hiking buddy, Dixon. It's hiker midnight for him, so he's napping right now inside of my Enlightened Equipment Torrid Apex pullover jacket. So that leads me to my next item, my synthetic jacket. This I'm only going to be using when I get to camp for warmth, and I might use it as part of my sleep system. This is the Enlightened Equipment Torrid Apex full zip jacket, and I'll take that and just store it right on top of my sleeping pad and my quilt and everything. And then I'll take the Nylofume pack liner, pack that down a little bit more, and then I'll twist it and tuck all the excess of the liner down inside of there. So now all of that is going to remain dry, and I'm not going to remove any of that from my pack until I'm in my shelter at camp. Then the next item is going to be my food bag with all of my food. This is going to be most likely the heaviest item that I'm carrying inside of my pack. So I want this closest to my back and closest to my center of gravity. With a frameless roll top pack, I'm carrying all of the weight in my shoulders. So weight distribution is a lot more critical with that type of pack than it is with a pack that has a frame structure built in. So this food bag is a custom printed food bag by Hilltop Packs, and it has my little guy on there and also the Reach Your Summit logo. Then here I have a couple of days worth of food. That's inside of a Nyla Pro food bag liner. And then I'll take my cook system inside of my cook pot, which is in a Dyneema composite fabric stuff sack, just to keep everything nice and contained. I have my fuel canister, I have my stove, and I have my mini Bic lighter. I wrap all of that up inside of a cloth. It's not really making any noise. It's nice and quiet. And then I like to take my cook system, put it inside of my food bag. So all of my cook system and food and everything is all organized in this one bag. Then I'll take my long-handled bamboo spoon. And lastly, my Bear Bag Line hanging kit. And place that right along the inner back of my pack. And then I like to take a little ditty bag. This is a 2-liter Dyneema composite fabric roll top dry bag. And in here I'll have all of my smaller items that I might want to access throughout the day, but still keep somewhat dry. So I have a cork massage ball in here. I have my first aid kit, an external battery pack, charging cables, gear repair, hygiene, Swiss Army multi-tool, and also my headlamp. And I like to place that inside of the main body of the pack in front of my food bag, so furthest away from me. And that way that's easy to pull out and get to if I need it throughout the day. Then I have my wind pants. These I'll keep up near the top of the pack in case I get a slight chill if it starts getting really windy. If there's some rain coming through, these are not waterproof. They're just water resistant. This also works well against bugs. So if it's very buggy, then I'll have that quick to get to. And I just store that right in a little gap next to the ditty bag. Then I'll take any insulation that I have. So this is the Senchi Designs Alpha 60 crew neck sweater. I'll keep that right on top of my food bag and ditty bag. So if I'm stopping for a quick break and it's a little chilly, I at least have a little bit of additional warmth. And then lastly, I like to store my tent inside of the main body of my pack. This is a trekking pole style tent. This is the Z-Packs Plex Solo. I usually go back and forth between this tent and the Z-Packs Hexamid. Again, it all depends on the type of trip that I'm on and what my goals and objectives are. But both tents have been fantastic for me, and I have a video going over both of those tents and the Six Moon Designs Lunar Solo. So if you'd like to check that out and see the comparison between all three, I'll leave that video linked in the description for this video. The reason I keep my tent up at the top is because this is the first thing that I'm going to want to get to when I get to camp. I'm going to want to choose my site and then set up as quick as possible. It's because it's one less thing that I need to worry about at the end of a long day. I also have this quick to get to if a very bad storm is coming in and I need some type of shelter really quick. This is quick to get to without having to unpack everything else. And if I'm out in very intense weather with my tent, it's most likely going to be very wet. So this allows me to keep this wet tent away from all of my gear that's down at the bottom that I want to keep dry. And if I'm out on the trail and there's a break with some sunshine or a nice breeze that'll help dry this out a little bit, then I'm going to take advantage of that. And I'll just store that horizontally as well, right inside of the pack. And I like to just kind of press everything in just so it's not bulging out everywhere. And if I'm using a tarp instead of the tent, take my bivvy, take my tarp, put that in the top. Then outside of the pack, On the right bottle pocket, I like to put my water bottle that I'm going to be drinking from throughout the day. And I'll also take my trekking pole and put that along the back. That way my trekking pole is quick to get to for any water crossings or when I get to camp. And on the other side, put my other water bottle with my water filter. So my water treatment will all go inside of the other pocket. And that's quick and easy to get to. I can fill this as needed. I can even drink from this if I need to with this filter. Then I take my tripod that I use to film my trips for all of you, and I'll store that right behind the filtration side. Then I have a large outer pocket here. So in there, put my tent stakes. Inside of a tent stake specific pocket keeps it separate from everything else in this main pocket here. Then I'll put things like my mosquito head net. I might put my Garmin in there too, or I'll clip that to the outside of my pack somewhere. I'll take my maps, place that in there, and I'll take my bathroom kit and put that in the outside too. So I have my deuce of spades trowel here and my bidet. And then I'll also take my sunglasses and my sunglass case, and I'll store that in the outside also. And on the shoulder straps on this side, I'll put some anti-chafe healing balm, some lip balm, sanitizer, sunblock, and my insect repellent. And then on this pocket, I'll usually put my Apple AirPods inside of there so they're quick to get to if I want to listen to a podcast. And then I'll also put my phone, which I'm filming with right now. That way my phone is quick to get to for navigation if I'm using that. Also, any pictures or any filming, I'll have that quick and at the ready. And then some of my packs have webbing loops that go across the shoulder straps, but this one does not. So I'm going to take my compass and I'm actually going to clip it to the sternum strap here. So that way I have that easy to get to if I need to use it. And then this pack has a fantastic bottom pocket. So I can take my rain jacket and stuff that down at the bottom here. But most of the time I'll put my food for the day down at the bottom. And then what's nice is down in the back of the pack, there's a smaller opening so I can stick all of my wrappers and trash inside of the bottom pocket and keep it separate from everything else so I can still access my snacks throughout the day and not have all of the trash getting mixed in with it. Now let's get into packing my running vest style pack. This is the Nashville Pack Cutaway, and this pack is going to be different from your traditional packs. It's going to carry weight a little bit differently. It is still frameless and roll top, so I am carrying all of the weight in my shoulders, but there's a lot more access to everything outside of the pack. This pack also rides a little bit lower than a lot of my Palante packs do, and that's just due to the design. And I have a video going over this pack and also the Tiempo made by Nashville Pack, so I'll put a link in the description for this video so you can check that out if you'd like. This one was made to order custom, so I picked the fabric and the colors, and I've been really happy with it. You'll notice in the video that the pack that I go over is a little bit different than this one. Only other difference, aside from the colorways with that pack in the video, is the torso length. So the torso length for that one is 16 inches, and I felt that it was just riding and sitting a little bit higher than I'd like. My torso is between 18 and 19 inches, so I went with the 18 inch when I did the custom order, and I've been really happy with this pack along with all of my Palante packs. So this pack is made out of an ultra grid fabric, so it is also water resistant, though not as water resistant as the ultra fabric with the Palante pack I just showed you. So to start with this pack, it's still going to be lining it But then I had added a modification on the back for the sit pad, like the Gossamer Gear Thin Light pad. So I'm going to just take that pad, and I've got it resting along the back of the pack. So this is now giving me the padding again, like it was with the Palante pack, preventing things from digging into my back, giving the pack a little bit more structure, but this is also going to be a little bit quicker and easier to get to. This is going to be accessible without even having to open my pack at all. So I have this right on the outside and the back. And then I'll start off with my sleep system again, and I'll store that horizontally. Then I'll take my sleeping pad. So that has a good foundation and base now. It can stand up on its own. Then I'll take my puffy jacket. And again, force all of that down. And I'll take my food bag, line that up along the back of the pack, and my ditty bag in front of the food bag, my wind pants, and my fleece, and my tent. I'm using my tarp and bivvy with this pack. Just remove the tent, take the bivvy and the tarp. And then for hydration with this pack, a bottle on this side, and again my trekking pole. Go outside here, and on the other side I have my bottle and filter and my tripod. Force all of the bulkiness out of the pack too. Here's where packing the rest of this pack is a little different from the Palante pack. And that's because this pack actually has a continuous pocket. So these bottle pockets are part of this continuous pocket. And then there's a shelf pocket up the top that's sewn in also. So I have a whole bunch of easy access while I'm on the move. I don't have to stop and take the pack off. I can keep smaller items up at the top here that I might want to get at. So I'm going to take my rain jacket here, shove that along the back. And then in this top pocket, I like to keep my stakes, keep my trowel and bidet. Take my Garmin InReach Mini, put that inside of there. I'll take my compass and my map. And then on the shoulder straps, I actually have 6 pockets. So on this side, I like to keep small items that I might want to access throughout the day. And then on this side, I like to keep all of my electronics that I need throughout the day possibly. So at the very top pocket here, I'll put my headlamp or my flashlight. This is the Nightcore NU25 headlamp, and I have a video going over this headlamp and the more current version, the NU25 UL. So I'll put a link in the description for that video so you can check that out whenever you'd like. And that just snaps down like that. And then in here, I'll put my AirPods. And then at the very bottom, I'll put my phone. Then on the other side at the top, I'll put my mosquito head net. And I'll put my sunglasses. And then at the very bottom, anti-chafe healing balm, sanitizer, lip balm, sunblock, and my insect repellent. And then this pack has a bottom pocket too. Opens up a little different than the Palante packs. Actually opens up along the whole entire back, facing you or closest to you. So I'll put all of my snacks in that pocket throughout the day. And usually on the right side, I will keep all of my food that I'm snacking on throughout the day. And then on the opposite side, I will have all of my trash. So that way I'm able to keep everything separate. And then I have some webbing loops here down at the bottom on each side, and that accommodates a 1-inch webbing belt similar to what's on the Palante packs. So I don't normally use this. Again, 95% of the time I'm not, but for the times when I'm carrying heavier weight, I have longer water carries, it's nice to have this to add on to the pack. So there you have it. That's how I like to pack my packs, like the Nashville Pack Cutaway and the Palante V2. If you have any questions going over anything in this video or anything else in my other videos, please feel free to leave them in a comment below, or you can contact me at any time at reachyoursummit.net. And if you like this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I'm always adding new content to it, and I have a lot of exciting content coming up. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all getting out and enjoying the trails too. And until then, catch you in the next one.